I've always trained function,
Mm.
and function is important. And functional spiritualism in sport, that backing is so huge, man.
Mhm.
Your functional mental capacity in sport, and being able to stop for a moment and go, where am I? Oh yeah, I'm in a match. Let me sink my hips, get underneath.
Yeah.
Like, that takes a mental capacity and a moment, like you are in a fight, man.
Mm.
Like your body is being attacked.
Mm.
That bear is right in front of you, and you now have the ability to think. Like,
Yes.
if you can think and be in the moment and feel yourself and feel your emotions and feel your everything that you feel, man, you're so powerful.
Man, that's such a good point because I can honestly relate. I can relate to that, having that clarity and like being lucid in the midst of a fight or a game like that. But I can also relate to the feeling of like not being able to do that, as though I just have many memories of, especially like, for example, my first year at Gavilan where I hadn't adjusted to the speed of the game yet. And I'd be in a game, the ball would be snapped, and then it's just like a flurry. It was just everything happened so fast, and then the play was over, and I had this feeling of like, I don't even really know what just happened. I was just going on instinct. But
Yeah.
to have things slow down for you enough to really have that clarity and be able to think through what's happening, that's another level.
I remember the first time I ever had that happen. I was waiting for a bus, and there was this older kid, and he was picking on me, or I was bugging him, or something happened. I don't know what was going on. I'm sure it was a little bit of both. I was probably somehow we find ourselves in a fight. We're squared off, and there's a punch coming at my face, and I'll never forget seeing that punch coming at me and how slow it was moving.
Mm,
I never understood that. The rest of the world was always fast and going and moving, but in this moment, this person is moving slow. I remember ducking and being able to hit that person in the stomach and a couple times throughout on their body, multiple times. I was like 6 years, 7 years old, man.
mm,
I didn't know this was something that just came from somewhere. I didn't. It was like wow, like I had no. It was my body reacting, but it was like going so slow that my mind had the ability to think about it.
mm,
And I too have had experiences where that flurry happens, but when I was the times that I'm able to be lucid and know where I'm at, time totally slows down, my abilities increase. When we can be in a calm state and still moving our body and not in that fight or flight fully, then we're lucid, we have that ability to kind of tap into some other parts of our being. That was the thing that I really loved about sumo and
mm,
football,
mm,
is that there is this silence right before the snap or right before you go, right? And some people really get themselves elevated. They're like, they're getting all pumped. They're talking their trash. They're doing all their stuff. And I was never that guy. Before games, I listened to classical music.
mm,
And honestly, it wasn't, Nick, it wasn't because I was tapping into that. It was because before games in high school and before stuff, I would get so excited and so revved up that I would throw up.
mm,
I would throw up almost before every. So I had to figure out a way to get myself to calm down.
mm.
And the more I could calm myself down, the more I realized, wow, this is super functional. This is not just for my own personal feelings, this has an aspect of like making me better in sport as
Right.
well.
Right.
And so in sumo, there's a moment where you look across the way and you look at the guy and you take this moment. It's called sankyo. And when you get in there and you look at the guy across the way, a lot of guys use that moment to kind of like intimidate, or they'll kind of like look at the other person. I always look directly at their heart, right at their heart, and I look right at their soul, and I calm myself down, and I don't look at their face. I don't try to get any more energy. I just calm all the way down so that when I am ready to explode, I explode from nothing.
Mm.
So that my explosion is just pure, just expression, not a reaction. Not a reaction. I don't want to react to the world. I want to express from my own true nothingness, right? And that's kind of the that's kind of ultimately kind of what we would want for ourselves, right? I mean, we want to have our own true expression, not necessarily reacting to the world and our surroundings, but creating our own true vibration, right?
Mm.
And so I always love that moment in sport, like even in football, right before that snap, where everything's silent. It's like it's silent, man. I love that moment. That's my favorite moment. It's right before that explosion, and then boom, it's like, oh, what just happened? You know,